Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Good to get back to normal. Take care, buddy. Bye.
At this time, we'll call to order the Board of County Commissioners meeting for the purpose of agenda review for next week's business session. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Schaefer. Here. Commissioner Allen.
Here.
Commissioner Klicka. Commissioner Osterhaus.
Here.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Here.
Commissioner Brown.
Here.
Chairman Eilert.
Here. All are present. We do have a quorum. Would the clerk please read the proposed consent agenda items?
Item number 1, consider authorizing the acceptance of $222,800 by the Sheriff's Office in grant funds from the fiscal year 2017 DNA Capacity Enhancement and Backlog Reduction CEBR program from the National Institute of Justice to maintain one DNA forensic analyst with 1-year salary and purchase new DNA mixture software from Niche Vision in an amount not to exceed $120,800 as an exception to competition per purchasing policy 110.180. Item number 2, consider authorizing the acceptance of $232,992 by the Sheriff's Office in grant funds from the fiscal year 2017 Paul Coverdell Forensic Science Improvement Grants Program, Award 2017-CD-BX-0056 from the National Institute of Justice for the funding of overtime to reduce casework backlog in the latent prints section of the Criminalistics Laboratory and for the purchase of an IBIS Brass Tracks Ballistics Database Acquisition Station from Ultra Electronics Forensics Technology in an amount not to exceed $141,000 as an exception to competition per purchasing policy 110.180. And item number 3, consider authorizing the acceptance of $206,231 by the Sheriff's Office in grant funds from the fiscal year 2017 Forensics DNA Laboratory Efficiency Improvements and Capacity Enhancements Program from the National Institute of Justice and the addition of a grant-funded DNA Forensics Technician position, .1 FTE.
Kevin or David from the Sheriff's Office, can you give us a brief?
Yes, I'm Ross Capps. I am the Laboratory Director at the Johnson County Sheriff's Office Criminalistics Laboratory. And I'd like to speak to you a little bit about all 3 of these grants. The first grant on the agenda is the FY 2017 DNA Capacity Enhancement and Backlog Reduction Program. This is a grant that we've had in the lab for over a decade. Historically, it has only been funding for a position or positions. This year, the KBI was kind enough to allow us to ask for $120,800 for software for DNA statistical analysis. So with the position, we want to continue to have that position in the lab in order for that individual to reduce backlog and work the cases as they come in. The statistical model is something that the forensic community is moving to. It's a new model that all of the working groups and the professionals in the forensic DNA community have recommended. And our lab has moved in that direction. We are using a software now, but it does not have the power that this one does. And we are wanting to get that in our lab so that we can move forth and stay up on the technology. The second is the FY 2017 Paul Coverdell Forensic Science Improvement Grant Program. That is a brand new grant for our lab. It is a competitive grant in that we are asking for a brass tracks, an IBIS brass tracks acquisition station. What that is a piece of equipment so that we can enter firearms evidence into the database. And so the database, we call it NIBIN, the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. That allows us to search against other firearm evidence across the country and in the area. As it stands now, we do not have one on site. We lost ours in 2011, so we actually have to go off-site to the Kansas City, Missouri Crime Lab in Kansas City, Missouri to enter the data. In fact, there is no acquisition station on this side, on the Kansas side of the metro area. And there's actually only a single acquisition station in the state of Kansas, and that's in Topeka. So we want to get that so that we can have timelier information to our customers. And as well as we are asking for exactly $91,992 for overtime costs so that the latent print section can work on reducing the backlog. The thought is that they will be able to complete a minimum of 200 cases with 1,146 hours of overtime during the grant period, which is a year. And the last grant is a brand-new grant, a competitive grant, the FY 2017 Forensic DNA Laboratory Efficiency Improvement and Capacity Enhancement Program. That is going to fund a DNA technician for the time of 3 years. So about 70% of the DNA backlog are property crimes. And so that backlog consists of 1,174 cases and 4,855 items. So the idea is we're trying to streamline things and change the way we do business so that a technician can get in and put more damage into the backlog so that the analyst can do more work on the back end. And that will fund salary and benefits for 3 years.
Okay, in regards to the, you said one of the grants was going to be ongoing, the other grants are one-time issues, is that right?
We hope to have them ongoing. The first grant is something that we've done for over a decade. The other ones are the first time we've ever applied and ever received those.
Well, again, I think you're probably aware that, if an employee is hired via a grant, that there's an understanding that if a grant doesn't continue, then there may not be an opportunity for future employment.
I do, sir.
Okay. Mr. Ashcraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple questions. I've got a bit of a cold, so was it Ross?
Yes, Ross. Me too. That's why I sound like this.
Ross, and I'll direct this to you, but if you want to pivot, please feel free. I'm trying to understand the exemption to competition request here. I mean, this is a grant, so why is this an exemption to competition issue? I'm trying to figure out how that works.
Sure. For which one?
For the first two, I think you have as exemptions to competition.
Yeah, so there's an exception to competition on the software because there's actually other software out on the market that competes with this. We have vetted these out and we have found that this one is the one we want to go with, and in order to buy this we have to buy through a certain company that only that company sells it, and that's Niche Vision.
And is that the same for the Brass Tracks?
Yes.
Brass Tacks?
Yes, Brass Tracks, Ultra Electronics Forensic Technology is the only vendor for that.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Allen.
I'd just like to congratulate the Sheriff's Department. 3 different grants totaling, it looks like, over $650,000, and it looks like from 3 different organizations. And it appears with these grants, they'll be able to take your crime lab to a higher level, which I know it's already exceptionally high at this time. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
I would second that also.
Agreed.
Any other questions? Remain on consent? Yes. All right, so noted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving to the proposed action agenda item, number 4, again, December 21 business session minutes. We had Mr. Klicka was absent, so that will remain on action. Item number 5.
Resolution number 001-18, consider City of Overland Park application number REZ 2017-109, request for rezoning of about 15 acres from RR-J Rural Residential District, Johnson County, and R-1 Single Family Residential District to R1 Single Family Residential District to allow expansion of an existing single-family subdivision in the vicinity of the northeast corner of 159th Street and Quivira Road.
Mr. Greeley.
Good morning, Paul Greeley with the Planning Department. This is a project in the city of Overland Park, but it is within 1 mile of the executive airport, so it comes to you through that statute that requires county review of projects within 1 mile of county airports. On the screen is the location of the property. It's near the intersection of 159th and Quivira. Off to the left side is the executive airport, so you can get an idea of the proximity of this. What this is a rezoning to change, drop to the second picture here, a rezoning of about 15 acres, primarily along Quivira, to residential that will allow expansion of this existing Wilshire by the Lake subdivision that's here on the right side of the screen into this area. So expansion of existing development pattern that's been in place for many years. This public hearing was held with the Airport Commission, and they and the staff both recommend approval of this rezoning. You will later see a development plan when that comes in that will show the actual layout of the subdivision, so we'll see that in a month or two.
Questions? This is a planning item, so it will remain on action. Next item.
Mr. Chair.
Excuse me, Mr. Clicker.
Mr. Greeley, did, at the public hearing, was there any major input?
There was no neighbor
At December 6th?
Yeah, there was no neighbor comments, although we did notify property owners within 200 feet and publish a notice in the paper. We didn't have any neighbors. The Airport Commission, of course, looked at it, and they were comfortable with it. So I would say no major issues with this.
And again, the reason it's before us is because of proximity to the airport.
Within 1 mile of the airport,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. Next item.
Item number 6, resolution number 002-18. Consider City of Olathe application number SU-17-007, renewal of a special use permit for an existing construction and demolition landfill at 23200 West 159th Street, Olathe, Kansas.
Mr. Greeley.
Paul Greeley, Planning Department. This is another project that's in the within a city of Olathe. In this case, on your screen is a location map within the red oval. 159th Street's the cross street, and I-35's diagonal here off to the right. New Century Air Center is off to the left side. You can see the runway here. This is within 1 mile. This is an existing construction and demolition landfill operation that was renewed under a special use permit 10 years ago, went through this same process, and that term has expired, so they've gone back through the city for renewal. The City of Olathe has approved this for renewal for another 10 years. And the Airport Commission's held a public hearing on it, and they and the staff both recommend approval.
Questions? Again, another item that comes before us because even though it's in the city, it's within a distance of the airport, so it will remain on action. And next item.
Item number 7, resolution number 003-18 and 004-18, and application number AUOX-PDP/FDP/3359 and AUOX-CU-3360. Consider a request from Stillwell Land Holdings, LLC, applicant and landowner, for preliminary and final development plans for construction and use of self-storage units and a conditional use permit to allow the construction of an outdoor storage yard and for outdoor parking and storage of automobiles, recreational equipment, and recreational vehicles located at 20770 Metcalf Avenue.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is Jay Leipzig, Planning Development Codes Director. This item is before you for a preliminary and final development plan for a property basically at 207th and Metcalf. On the vicinity map there you can see the location of it. This item was unanimously approved by the Aubrey-Oxford Zoning Board on December 6th. Staff recommended approval. Also, I wanted to make a quick note about the comments from working with the developer and the design team. Very receptive towards any comments that staff had on this item, and they are full in agreement with all the recommendations. I'll pull up the site plan for you as well.
Any questions? All right, well, again, this is a planning item, so it will, unless you've got something else to show us,
I do not.
okay. It will remain on action. Are there any other items to be considered?
No, sir.
All right, that concludes our agenda review. We are adjourned, and we'll reconvene in study session at 11 a.m., rooms 202, 204. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.